guys? It's your boy, Barça Boy 103. Today we're going to be reacting to the Barcelona news. Over the past 24 hours, we do have so much news to discuss. We have a big update on the left wing reinforcement in regards to Nico Williams and Dani Olmo, but the biggest news has been around the midfield reinforcement. Firstly, in the pivot, there have been meetings and meetings are being planned to meet the representatives of both Martin Zubimendi and Joshua Kimmich. And also in the interior as well, Barcelona are planning the loan operation for Xavi Simons, and it's very likely it can be executed. We also have big updates on the future of Robert Lewandowski and Vitor Roque. We have been linked with Darwin, Nunez, and Alexander Isak, as well as replacements for those two potential outgoing forwards. I have updates on the future of Chadi Riad as well, his sale going through now with Real Betis. Untouchable players that are not for sale for Barcelona. Ter Stegen on the top of that list alongside Pedri. Also have an update on the end of season friendly in South Korea that could be in jeopardy, and also a skywalk that is being installed at the new Spotify Camp Nou. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try to get to 200 likes in this video. Be very much appreciated. And also, if you're new, make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Now, before we get into the video, this video is sponsored by LU Soccer. LU Soccer is one of the most versatile replica jersey websites on the market. They have a variety of different items from different clubs, from CONCACAF, Serie A, Bundesliga, Ligue 1. They have a jersey from any country, any league, basically in the world. And of course, they do have some Barcelona merchandise. I do have here two items they have sent me, which I think is absolutely fantastic. One is this limited edition black kit. I believe this was a concept. It looks absolutely beautiful. Of course, it has the Spotify logo there, and also this one is what caught my eye the most. It is this kind of retro. It has the first ever badge for Barcelona in the middle there as well. It looks so sick, and they have different options very similar to this one for all different clubs and country. So what are you waiting for? Hit the top link in the description down below and check out LU Soccer today for the best prices and also the best quality. Let's start off with the transfer news. Over the past 24 hours, a lot of encouraging transfer news recently for Barcelona, as the club do slowly but surely begin to plan for the summer. But of course, their main priority is to return to the 1-1 rule, but they are making movements. Firstly, in the pivot, I saw this, my mouth dropped, I cried tears of joy. This is coming in from Gigentes. They've come out saying that yesterday afternoon, Deco had a meeting with the representative of Martin Zubimendi. In order for this operation to be carried out, it's difficult because, of course, he has a €60 million release clause. There must be a significant sale. The fact that we're talking to him is positive in my books. Now, following this, Nico from Kobe came out saying that Zubimendi is a difficult operation. They explained to me that there's also negotiation with Arsenal. So Arsenal could be some competition there for Barcelona. I think he would pick Barcelona out of the two. At Arsenal, there's going to be some competition in that midfield. Thomas Partey, Declan Rice. Barcelona, he walks in. I mean, he walks in with 1 foot at this point. Now, a significant sale is needed. I would bin Ferran Torres for Zubimendi. I would bin Christensen for Zubimendi. I would bin Inigo for Zubimendi. I would bin... Honestly speaking, if you told me neither of the Joaos come back, but you get Martin Zubimendi, I would do that. Who else would I get rid of? That's about it, if I'm being completely honest. There's some options there, though. I would bin Lewandowski for Zubimendi. That might be a hot take, but I really would. I would get rid of his wages and, make space via him for Zubimendi. I think there's a lot of options out there. Now, in regards to there being a significant sale, I think paying again the release clause is another issue. I think a significant sale in the sense of financial fair play for fair play margin, i.e. the wage bill, not in terms of the actual transfer fee. Of course, this will be another difficulty as well. We have to give the $60 million upfront immediately to Real Sociedad. They will not accept any installment payments or anything like that to make the operation more sustainable and easier for Barcelona to complete. But at least we're talking to him. I think Gigentes also mentioned that Xavi's a big fan of Zubimendi. He's the main pivot target for Xavi. So let's hope there's something positive coming out of this. There's also been a significant news in the pivot as well with regards to Joshua Kimmich. Gigentes also came out saying that Deco may travel to Munich regarding Joshua Kimmich in the coming days as well. So there is movement being made for the pivot, and the two targets right now are Kimmich and Zubimendi. I have no problem with that. Of course, I think Zubimendi is the better option, but if Kimmich comes up, 30 million, whatever, we'll talk about that when that develops. But for me, the most positive thing is there are developments being made. There is movements. We're now beginning of May. The transfer market still opens in another month or so, but again, there's being progression. That is a more positive aspect in my opinion. Again, with Kimmich, good player. I just don't think he's a pivot unless there's another game plan. Maybe Xavi wants to play a pivot of him and Gundogan. Maybe Xavi wants to have him at right back. We're going to bring Cancelo. I have no idea. But Kimmich equals pivot. Not for me, in my opinion. But we will wait and see how things turn out. But again, meetings are taking place and also meetings are being planned for the signing of the priority for Barcelona this summer, and that is a pivot. Now, the most shocking news, in my opinion, over the past 24 hours have been the major developments in regards to the signing of Xavi Simons this summer. Now, remember, before I get into this report, Barcelona's priority this summer is firstly a pivot, secondly, a left winger, and then thirdly, an interior. And Xavi Simons is an interior, so keep that in mind. But Roger Toledo and Fran Martinez from Mundo Deportivo, top sources, came out saying that Xavi Simons wants to return to Barcelona. Xavi loves the player, Xavi, the manager, who has the option to choose the club he'd like to join on loan. There's a pending meeting between Xavi Simons and PSG, and Barcelona is open to getting him, but only on loan. Xavi Simons is willing to do whatever it takes on his part to fulfill his dream of playing for Barcelona's first team this summer. Oh my goodness gracious. So not only are we getting a brilliant player that fits the mold and fits a position that we desperately need, he's coming in on loan, which basically means for free. But that also, of course, turns into a downside. What is the long-term plan? According to reports, PSG want like 80 million to even consider selling Xavi Simons as like a starting point. So if we bring in Xavi Simons on loan, which again is a possibility, I did speak, by the way, to PSG Int, who of course I collaborated on the channel before. He's a PSG fan. He told me he's not aware of an actual clause being in his contract, but he is aware of the fact that Xavi Simons does have a lot of a say in his future, that he basically dictates what he wants to do, and he has a lot of power. That's what he told me. So about this clause, we'll wait and see if it's true or not. But what is a long-term plan? You're bringing Xavi Simons, let's say for example, on loan. You don't get Bernardo Silva. You don't get Alex Garcia. Maybe you probably don't even get Dani Olmo as well. You bring him on loan for 1 year. Then what happens? We're going to be developing a player for PSG, making a player better for PSG. He's going to go back to PSG, and I highly doubt that PSG will end up selling him. There's no long... This is very... Again, profile of the player, love the player. I think this would be a great signing as well. Him and Balde and everyone are friends. That can be somewhat of an asset as well. But there's no long-term plan. This is beyond short-term. Unless we can get a buy option in the loan deal, I would say maybe around 60 million to make it. I think that's a fair price for Xavi Simons. I think, of course, PSG will not. They're going to be overpricing him like no tomorrow. PSG's game plan has always been to have Xavi Simons being one of the core players for them next season, with Mbappe leaving. But Xavi Simons has a clause in his contract that he's allowed to leave on loan to any club he wants to, and PSG can't say anything about it. Whether that's on paper, if that's a gentleman's agreement, this ain't happening. But if that's in the clause, in the actual contract, there could be something cooking here. So we'll wait and see. Keep your eyes on this. But again, for me, in terms of the profile of the player, fits perfectly. Would love him. I think this would be a great signing. Again, fills that role on the left-hand side. Can, provide some good competition for Pedri as well. When Pedri's not fit, he can come in. Of course, Gavi with the ACL ain't coming back till September, October. And when he comes back, he needs a lot of time to get back to match rhythm and match sharpness. And also, if I'm coming off the back of ACL, you don't know if he's going to come back the same or not. This would be an absolutely sensational signing. But the operation, the formula itself, isn't too favoring for Barcelona. But we'll wait and see how things develop. Again, remember, this is the third priority for Barcelona, so the fact that we can get this on a loan, maybe that's why the club will speed it up and make it easier. But this is not going to be a priority for Barcelona as things currently stand. It's going to be a pivot and a left wing. But again, movements are being made in this interior position signing, and Xavi Simons right now is a leading candidate. He's leading the race because of how easy the operation is. But again, no medium to long-term future with him whatsoever. And one of the top two priorities, of course, for Barcelona this summer that I've hinted at quite a few times so far is, of course, the signing and reinforcement of a left winger. Now, Fran Martinez and Roger Toledo from Mundo Deportivo came out saying that after prioritizing a defensive midfielder, Barcelona is focusing on a left winger, contingent incoming in funds, and even a potential significant departure. While several candidates are being considered, Dani Olmo and Nico are the two that stand out the most. Dani Olmo is liked by Xavi and Deco. The former La Masia player can play multiple positions, and his attributes align with Barcelona's DNA. He will cost 60 million euros, but Barcelona could lower the price due to the player's desire to come. Nico Williams is liked by the coaching staff, so no mention of Deco there. He can play both on the left wing and the right wing. The challenge with his signing is Athletic Club will make any interesting club pay 50 million euro release clause in cash, which means of course upfront immediately, no installments, no variables or anything like that. Within the club, there's no doubt that both players will fit into the system immediately, as both players are familiar with key players due to their relationship with them in the Spanish national team. So Deco not being mentioned there in the Nico Williams part could maybe have some sort of an effect, snowball effect going forward. Now we do have some individual reports. Firstly, on Nico Williams, Tony Marti has come out saying that Nico Williams continues to be a very highly desired player for the left wing, but to go after him, Barcelona need to carry out several tasks first, and having some exits are essential. Again, exits for FFP to clear the wage bill, not in terms of raising funds to get the player, and again, carry out several tasks first, that first task being returning to the 1-1 rule. Now on Dani Olmo, Fran Martinez also came out saying that Dani Olmo's release clause is 60 million euros and is only valid until July the 15th, the day of the Euros final. If Barcelona do want to sign him, they will have to move quickly. Now again, with that release clause being there, that kind of sets the maximum price. So Barcelona can go to RB Leipzig and say, okay, we'll offer you 40 million plus 20 in variables, so you kind of reach that figure, but again, there's going to be some breakup payments. But once that release clause is gone, it's all in the hands of RB Leipzig. So the fact that this saga won't drag out too long could be definitely a positive for Barcelona, but also a negative because we might rush to conclusions. Hopefully that is not the case. Look, I'm a fan of both players, I'll be completely honest, but for the left wing, I'm all in on Nico Williams. Younger, cheaper, fits the mold, fits the style better. All the stars align there. With Dani Olmo, he's not a pure winger. He's very much like a Pedri playing on the left, or like a Bernardo Silva playing on the wing, or like a who's a winger, like a Phil Foden playing on the wing, where they can do a job, they perform well, but it's not their natural position, and they're not a pure winger. Of course, we want to have that pure winger there, 1v1 dribbling ability, speed, pace, being able to cut inside, create chances, that's what you want, and Nico Williams fits that mold beyond perfection. I wouldn't mind signing Dani Olmo still as an interior option. So let's say, for example, we miss out on Xavi Simons and Bernardo Silva. I think Dani Olmo would fit that mold perfectly. And also, like the club mentioned, they can play him on the left if we have injuries, tactical changes, whatever the case may be. So we'll wait and see. To be honest, I'd be happy with either of them, but definitely Nico Williams for me, the main priority. I'll be happy with Dani Olmo as a player, not for the left wing. I think that's a terrible decision. Now, also, we have been linked with another left winger as well, an up-and-coming winger in the world of European sports, and that is Antonio Nusa of Club Brugge. Goal have come out saying that Barcelona have been following Antonio Nusa of 19 years of age of Club Brugge for some time now as an option for the left wing. The club has great reports on him. Other clubs are interested in the Norwegian as well. I'll be honest, have not heard of him before this report. I've seen some clips now after the reports come out. He's looked alright, but again, anyone can look good in comps. I mean, as a lower option, sure, but then again, you already have young wingers and young talents in La Masia, so why go out and spend money on that? We need to spend money on experienced players that have potential, like Nico Williams, been playing La Liga now for 2 or 3 years, Spanish national team, he's very, very young, he can grow. Dani Olmo, same thing. That's what this team needs right now. Not super young players that we can grow up to be great players. That's all we need right now. But again, it's an option to be there. So we'll wait and see how things turn out in the left wing position. But still, yet again, it is Dani Olmo and Nico Williams, the two targets, the two priorities, and the two favorites. Now, a very, very low priority for Barcelona this summer, of course, is the reinforcement of a striker. Of course, depending on the future of both Vitor Roque and Robert Lewandowski, who we both have an update on later on in the video. But TV3 have come out saying that Barcelona are very interested in Darwin Nunez. He is the #1 option to replace Lewandowski. Of course, if he ends up leaving, Alexander Isak is another option as well. Now, firstly, when I think of someone to replace Lewandowski, the first name that comes to mind for me, of course, Erling Haaland as a big name striker, but that's probably not feasible this summer. The next one that comes to my mind is the other Man City striker in Julian Alvarez. I think Alvarez is absolutely clear of Darwin Nunez. Now, Darwin Nunez is having a difficult time right now at Liverpool. He's not scoring chances whatsoever. He's, I think, deleted all his, Liverpool-related content on his social media. I think he's deleted all his pictures on Instagram with him being in the Liverpool training, Liverpool game, whatever the case may be. I think Darwin Nunez is a good player. I think, by the way, his speed is absolutely disgusting, but he's been so poor over the past 2 years that I wouldn't look into it whatsoever. I think Liverpool will ask for, around the same money they invested in him as well. Does not make sense. His finishing is shocking. Great speed on him. Great build-up play as well, but in front of goal, shocking. I would take Alexander Isak over Darwin Nunez every single day of the week. I've rated Alexander Isak since his time at Real Sociedad. I've talked about him in my old videos as well a lot. Go look back at my old transfer videos during the Koeman days. We were looking with him a lot alongside Mikayil Faye, both of Real Sociedad at the time. Brilliant player. Again, depends. It comes in on price as well, who's available, what's obtainable, stuff like that. But don't get too hyped on this. We'll wait and see on the future of Vitor Roque and Lewandowski first. We have been linked with the other striker as well, but this striker now has been officially ruled out, and that is Mason Greenwood. Tony Martin came out saying that Barcelona considered Mason Greenwood in the past and asked about him. The club analyzed his situation and also his off-field aspects as well, and Barcelona have now discarded him totally. They will not sign him. But the president of Getafe did come out speaking on the future of Mason Greenwood, and he did say that the only top team that have asked me about Mason Greenwood is Joan Laporta of Barcelona. So I guess the interest was there. Look, I think he's a good player. I don't think he really fits the mold of what we need. At the time when we were being linked with him a lot, it was more so of a winger. I don't see him as a winger. I see him more so as a striker. Good player. A lot of people take, I don't want to, say anything controversial, but a lot of people, saying, oh, this would be disgusting if the club signed him based on what he happened beforehand. Look, at the end of the day, he was found not guilty. It is what it is. I judge it based on the player and the profile, what they do off the pitch. In regards to anyone, to be honest, doesn't really faze me. There's a lot of bad players outside of football. People sleeping with their sisters, with their brothers' wives. People doing drug action. People doing the R word. All this stuff always happens. So that's why I personally, in my opinion, I kind of keep that stuff away from me. I judge it on the player profile, price, how it fits Barcelona itself. Everyone has a bad background. It's part of the game. So a lot of people I think over hyping that, in my opinion. But wait and see what happens in regards to, a signing of a striker right now. But definitely nowhere near a priority right now for the club. Let's now discuss the players that have been rumored to leave Barcelona over the past 24 hours. First up, we do have an update on the future of Marcos Alonso. And apparently there is a pre-agreement with Atletico Madrid. And everything seems to indicate that he will join Barcelona's rivals. The player's contract, of course, ends. He will be a free agent. And the club already knows that he will not renew with Barcelona. So we might see Alonso still in La Liga action next season, playing for one of our rivals. Whether he'll be a starter or not remains to be seen. And to be honest, I could not care less. He was aight the first season, dreadful, woeful the second season. He didn't even play. I don't even think he played more than 15 games this season. I would be shocked if he even didn't get double digits in game time this season. Woeful signing. I think, again, the worst decision that Juan Laporta has done since becoming the new president was approve and sign off on a renewal for him last season. Whether that's pre-agreed in the summer or not, I don't give a damn. That was absolutely terrible, but he's going to be off to Atletico Madrid, and we'll face him next season. Now, another all but confirmed exit at Barcelona is the exit of Chadi Riad, where Real Betis have executed their option to purchase him following his loan move. Relevo have come out saying that Real Betis decided to pay 3 million euros to acquire Chadi Riad permanently, and Barcelona cannot activate the buyback option on him this summer. It's only valid in the summer of 2025. Betis may sell the player this summer, and if they do, Barcelona will receive 50% of any sale. So all this hype in January about Chadi Riad coming back looks like that's absolutely dead in the water. So it's clear now that Barcelona will receive around 3 million euros from Betis for Chadi Riad. If they do sell him this summer, we get 50% of the transfer fee, and we do have a buyback option of 7 million euros in the summer of 2025. Now, one player's future at the moment that remains in doubt in the wide scheme of things, but not maybe in his eyes, is the future, of course, of Robert Lewandowski. And there is more reports slowly creeping back to the surface of Atletico Madrid being interested in keeping an eye on the situation of Robert Lewandowski. Of course, 2 months ago, we discussed a possible swap deal between Lewandowski and Joao Felix. Of course, Barcelona would save a lot on his wages, get a young player like Joao Felix on, fairly low wages, younger as well, so it would benefit Barcelona a bit more. But you are going to be giving one of the best strikers in the world, especially in La Liga, to a direct rival, which Barcelona now have done, 3 times now with Atletico Madrid? David Villa, Suarez, and Antoine Griezmann. I mean, bloody hell, it's absolutely crazy, but keep your eyes on this. I have a suspicion that something is boiling. Again, his wages next season are criminal. Criminal for the output that he's giving us on the pitch. I understand how it's pre-agreed, and at the time it made sense. He's just not performing at that level. We have got to do something, and this could be a way out. So keep your eyes on it. Again, we talked about this 2 months ago, and now the reports are slowly reaching the surface again. Now, a player who is absolutely adamant that he wants to stay at Barcelona is Jules Kounde, and Gabriel Sanz, one of Deportivo, has come out saying that the list of teams interested in Jules Kounde is growing. Apart from Chelsea, PSG, and Manchester United, in Italy they now add Inter Milan, and in England they also add Newcastle. However, the Frenchman wants to stay at Barcelona. Unless an outrageous offer comes in, I'm talking 90 million plus, I would not hesitate with any offers for Jules Kounde. This man is absolutely elite. My Rolls Royce center back. Yes, he had one shite month during the season. First half of the season, magnificent. Second half of the season, absolutely elite. This is a player that you don't get rid of. This is what, if you sell him, this is why Barcelona will never, evolve. We're just gonna have good players for a year, sell them, bring in someone who's, mediocre and needs to grow and has good talent. You've got to keep that core, and Jules Kounde for me is a part of that. He's a player that Xavi bet on a lot as well. Xavi was the one that requested him and convinced him to join from Sevilla. So I think a sale for him, both from the Koundé side and the Xavi side, will be difficult. But again, Barcelona, if an offer comes in, everything will be evaluated. And I understand that as well. If someone comes in with a 60 million euro bid, I suspect Barcelona maybe negotiate, try to get maybe 80 or whatever the case may be. But again, if it's for the right price, if it's, for 80 million plus with variables included, I wouldn't be bothered on the price side, on the money side. But I would be very bothered, of course, in terms of the personnel and the player himself. But we'll wait and see. Again, something has to come in to really tempt the moves. But right now, I think Barcelona, Koundé, Xavi are very happy with the current situation. Me personally, as a fan, I would not sell him under any means, circumstances. Now, staying on the topic of Barcelona center backs, another one has also hinted at the fact that he wants to continue at the club, and that is Mikayil Faye, who dropped a quote on his Instagram saying, "Patience is to calmly accept that things come at a different time than you expect." So that pretty much means that I think that how I interpreted that, it might not be his time right now at Barcelona, but it could be in the future. Whether that means the future, the summer for preseason, or the future in a few years, I have absolutely no idea. Fabrizio Romano also came out saying that he's still waiting to debut with Barcelona, while several clubs want to sign him this summer after bids being rejected from Lens in January from Barcelona. Look, the reality is with Mikayil Faye, we'll wait and see. I think the most important thing for me is that he's on that plane and does in fact participate in preseason. I do believe that is the plan right now, unless a huge monumental offer comes in. I'm talking 20 million for him. I think apart from that, he'll be on the plane and we'll evaluate him there. Of course, other sales at center back could maybe, of course, open up the door for him to stay in the first team. Like, for example, Jules Kounde, Christensen, and Araujo, and Inigo as well. Any of those can be sold instead of Barcelona going out on the market and finding a center back. Just promote and trust Mikayil Faye. So I think he definitely has a route. I would say right now his future is about 50% staying, 50% leaving. I think it depends a lot on the availability of center backs as well, not more so on his ability. But again, and of course, we do have Eric Garcia and Kamal Longley coming back from loans. There's even more center backs that we already have. So we'll wait and see. But again, credit to his mindset. This is absolutely spot on as well. You see, Vitor Roque all crying that he doesn't have minutes. And look at, the way that this guy has his mentality straight, an absolute mentality monster. And this is the right way to progress and elevate yourself in the world of football. Now, two players from the Barcelona perspective that are guaranteed to stay this summer are Marc-Andre Ter Stegen and Pedri. Firstly, on Ter Stegen coming in from Raccoon, they've come out saying that Ter Stegen is untransferable for Barcelona, which means that Barcelona will not sell him under any means, circumstances, unless Ter Stegen walks into the Barcelona office and say, "Look, I want to leave. Here's the offer from Al Ittihad. Take it. I want to leave." Unless that happens, Ter Stegen is saying, I do think for everyone, it's the correct decision. Look, I'm having major doubts about Ter Stegen. I understand people's concerns about him, but the reality is I'd much rather assign a pivot, a left wing, an interior, a fullback, and even a striker ahead of a goalkeeper right now. The goalkeeper department is not a priority. I can give you a 10-minute compilation of all of Ter Stegen's mistakes this season. I've actually seen one on Twitter, but I can also give you a 10-minute compilation of his brilliant saves this season as well. Very, very inconsistent. He's cost us in a lot of moments, saved us in some moments as well. I understand why people are, having doubts and stuff like that. Of course, being at the club for so long as well. But I think right now is not the time. We have other things that are more of a priority, more of a necessity right now. But I understand the concerns around Ter Stegen, of course, from the fan base. Next up is Pedri. Alex Pentel from Relevo came out saying that Pedri is a non-transferable player for Xavi and the club. For Barcelona, they say that he's untouchable and fundamental, and Xavi has always been full praise of him and can't imagine a project without him in the team. This is kind of part of the renewal process. You start talks, you gas them up in the media, you begin negotiations, you sign, you reach an agreement, everyone's happy. This is on the same trajectory. I think for me, like I told you guys my opinion on Pedri, fantastic player on his day. I would give him $500,000 a week if he plays week in, week out and never gets injured. I think he's worth it that much. But the issue is, He does get injured a lot. He's very inconsistent in his injury. He's fit for 2 months out of 8 months of the season. That has to be considered for me, in my opinion, when you negotiate a renewal with him. I would renew his contract on either the same wage that he's on right now, maybe even lower, or you can increase it based on games played as well to give him that recognition, saying that, look, for ability-wise, if you play this amount of game, we'll happily pay you these kind of wages, but it's not a guarantee with you. I had no problem with that either. So, and again, player-wise, profile, absolutely perfect for Barcelona. So wait and see what happens with these two, but I think most likely, I will tell you right now for free, 100%, they will both be in the Barcelona squad come September. Let's now discuss some of the news surrounding Barcelona over the past 24 hours. First, we do have an update coming in from Ivan San Antonio of Sport on the Vitor Roque and Xavi situation. He came out saying that Xavi's relationship with Vitor Roque is very cordial. It's false that the coach does not speak to him. Xavi asked the Brazilian to continue to show himself in training. Again, the hype is kind of dying down a little bit with Vitor Roque. I kind of had my rant yesterday. That's why my voice is absolutely killing me today. I made my point very clear in the last video. If you haven't checked it out, please go do it. It's timestamped as well. Just go to the Vitor Roque part and just hear me rant and rave. I think this situation is being blown out of proportion and beyond belief. And I hope that he's on that plane to America. And if he's on that plane to America, I have full confidence that he will show his ability during that moment, especially with Lewandowski being at the Euros and, not coming back on time as well. He will have his opportunity. He just needs to get his head down straight, work hard. Of course, Xavi has to give him confidence as well, saying, look, I trust you, just have to keep building, keep training hard, and your moment will come. Again, his moment did come this season, but the red card absolutely killed him, and we already talked about that multiple times. But again, I think everything's been blown out of proportion, and looks like that has been, according to Ivan San Antonio of Sport, and hopefully, in the next few weeks, as we close the season, we can see more minutes from Vitor Roque. The next update that we do have is on the end-of-season friendly in South Korea, which at the moment could be a little bit in jeopardy. Of course, it's already been confirmed that the plan is after the season ends to go to South Korea for 24 hours, play a game, get some ads, retirements, sponsorships, make some money, head on back to sunny Catalonia. But Roger Solero from Gabriel Sanz of Mundo Deportivo came out saying that Barcelona's possible postseason friendly in South Korea is up in the air now due to a clash of schedule/dates. They are working to play against FC Seoul. Barcelona played their last league match against Sevilla on May 26th, but the Korean club has matches on the 28th as well as the 3rd of June. The 30th and 31st of May or the 1st of June could be possible dates, but the national team camps are scheduled to begin at that time to prepare for the Euros. So it's a quite tight schedule, whether or not we can make it or not. I think, to be honest, by the time hopefully the 26th comes around, we should know if our season is, if we have second place or not. I would look towards the 27th and 28th. I really don't care about FC Seoul. They can have a rotated side. We're going to have a rotated side. We're just going there to make some money at the end of the day. They do have a match on the 28th, so making it on the 27th kind of makes no sense. I think maybe 29th or 30th. It's got to be at some point in May. Let's just keep it straight. I think anything before May the 30th will work for Barcelona, but whether that works for Seoul, that is a question. So we'll wait and see. I do hope this friendly goes ahead, not only for me as a fan to see some of the young players in play and watch, Barcelona expose themselves in the world that we love, but also, of course, we need that revenue as well for financial fair play, and these players need to learn that if you do not win, consequences happen. Of course, from the player perspective, they hate these end-of-season friendlies to travel to another whole country, whole continent for 24 hours. You're jet-lagged, you're tired, you have to go out and play like an intense game of football, so they don't like it, so make them suffer. Now, the final topic that I wanted to discuss before I end off this video is in regards to upgrades and renovations around the Espai Barça, i.e. the new Camp Nou project, and Mundo Deportivo have come out saying that Barcelona had the green light from the firefighters to advance the Skywalk project that will be the icing on the cake of the new Spotify Camp Nou. It will be a walkway that will allow people to see the city of Barcelona from the top of the stadium. However, the Skywalk will not be a reality until the roof of the stadium will be installed, so it will only happen by the summer of 2026. The Sagrada family will be in the front of the Skywalk, the Tibian Park as well on the left, and the Montjuic and the sea on the right. The Skywalk will have a separate ticket and will also be one more source of income for the club alongside the museum tour. It'll be an eye-catching experience for the fans and the tourists. Take my money. Take my money. Oh my god. I just hope it's not too expensive. It's gotta be under 100 euros, surely. I think a stadium tour is about 20 euros the last time I went. I just hope they don't make this too expensive. I know I'm based in Toronto. Yeah, the CN Tower, of course. To do the walkway, it's like $300 or something ridiculous like that. So I ain't spending that. But for the Camp Nou, to give Barcelona some money, best believe, take it all. Take it all. I cannot wait for this new stadium, man. Oh my god, I am so gassed about it. But again, more upgrades, and again, another source of revenue for Barcelona. Joan Laporta working his magic yet again. So that was my reaction to the Barcelona news over the past 24 hours. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and of course leave me your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed. But the main thing I want to see, of course, is your thoughts on that midfield reinforcement. Would you rather go for Zubimendi, Joshua Kimmich? Who would be your ideal pivot target? Second, your thoughts on the signing of a loan operation or the loan formula of Xavi Simons. Would you be in favor of it or not? Thirdly, of course, on the left-hand side, who would you go for? Dani Olmo, Nico Williams, maybe both. Next up, your thoughts on Ter Stegen and Pedri being untouchables. Is there a price that you would sell them for? Thoughts on the future of Lewandowski and Vitor Roque as well. And of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below if you haven't already. And I will see you guys next time on the channel. Take care and Forza Barça.
Yeah.